to the mall with my friends and we'd fake heart attacks, I would like go to the food court and I would just like get up and be like, ah, start shaking on the ground and fucking. And the key to that is like you got to make eye contact with one person.
Hey everybody, we recorded an episode, me and Bill, and we got way too high.
So yeah, we did.
Half the episode is just us being like, "Isn't that awesome?"
Where's Taco Bell?
Just talking about what food we're gonna get.
Yeah.
So Billy came back. We're still gonna release the episode. We're gonna cut a lot out of it, and then you're also gonna get treated with this part. This is just Billy came back. We're just gonna do another like 45.
We're gonna do another interview, and this time we're still gonna get really high.
No, I got the bull.
But not that high.
I told you when we talked about this, I was like, I'd never taken 2 joints to the face on this before.
Yeah.
And it was like the story you talked about shitting on the guy's floor. It wrecked me. Because I was so stoned, and when you told me, and I just was like, it was such. I came down because of the laughter.
I was pretty wrecked too. It might have been that one edible.
Yeah,
who knows?
that's why you took the edible too.
And now I got one of these guys.
You do it on air?
No.
What do you got? Ooh, what's that?
We got a backwoods.
Where'd you get that? From the fat man?
From the fat man. He said to smoke it on a special occasion. So I chose today. Because we got to redo the podcast.
Do you have any of that instances where you're like too high? Like give me like...
Definitely. I'm usually pretty calm, mostly everywhere if I'm super high. But when I would be at work sometimes, like we would smoke on lunch break and then come home, and then it would get super, come back to, Earth, back home. I would go back into the warehouse or whatever, and then it would get super busy.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, you guys got to do this, you got to do that. And I'd be like, but I just smoked so much on lunch. I don't know if I could do this.
Right now, I just want to eat my sandwich in the corner.
It was either that or when I would be working, I would do a lot of whiskey lunches.
What's whiskey lunches?
Where you don't eat and you just drink whiskey. And then you come back and you drive around on the forklift like a boss. Like a fucking boss. Oh, yeah.
Definitely, I remember when I worked at the country club.
Uh-huh.
Like it was because it was like a high end. I won't say which one. I won't tell. I would get bored. Like I'd have to go in at 6 a.m. all the time.
Damn.
I had to be in at 6 a.m. because people would want.
See, that should be illegal.
What, to go in that early?
Yes.
I don't get it. I worked for a lot of workaholics. You know what I mean? Like they just didn't understand. Like the concept of time off was like they didn't like it.
Yeah, they don't get. Yeah, I hate people like that.
I'm like my cousin's in the hospital. He's dying.
Right.
And they're like, I don't understand what you can't see tomorrow. Like, you might be dead by tomorrow. I have to see him today.
Yeah. They don't understand the point of like a down. You need some downtime. No, not everything is about the job. Yeah.
They're addicts and they think that it's healthy, but like these people are always like thrice divorced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they usually have some form of addiction problem on top of it.
Cocaine, alcohol. Yeah.
It's been off the whole time?
Yeah, it's been off the whole time.
Well, it's only been 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And these cameras pick up good audio.
Ah, we were killing.
No, you're fine. I'm the dildo.
Yeah, but still, it's like I'm talking. Then it sounds like I'm talking to no one.
It's just
My usual existence.
That's whatever, man. But yeah, I worked at the golf club, and like every time, because it was for like rich people. But so one of my things, I was like the food and beverage manager, so I had to make sure the things were like there's like fridges on like the 10th hole, and then another one on like the 16th hole or some shit like that, and. You'd have to fill it. You'd fill it with like, there'd be like Gatorade in it or like fresh fruit and everything like that. There's always beer in it too.
Maybe some caviar.
No caviar.
Being a fancy
would it be fucking
golf
great?
course.
And there's also like a drivable cart and everything that was like a food.
Oh,
too.
nice.
So you had to fill up that up. But there was usually beer there. And by like 1 o'clock, I was like, I'm fucking gonna start drinking. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll just drive around with like Montauk beer cans like falling out of the back of it.
Dude, Montauk beers are so good.
Dude, no one drank more though than the greenskeeper at that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Oh man, like it was like all the time. I used to fucking like this dude was. First of all, this dude was great at his job. This is not a despair. This dude was so goddamn good. You got it. This dude was so fucking good at his job. I think he also grew his own weed. He would like throw me bags all the time. Because I would bring him, I would be like, hey, he's like, hey, I got weed. Just make sure I always have beer. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So I did. I just gave, like, he drank like most of that shit, but nobody drank more than him. It was crazy. But yeah, I drank during that job. I was a bartender. I drank all the time during those jobs.
Love drinking at a job.
Oh, it's the best. That's why it's a great being a comedian, because technically no one gives a shit if you drink on this job.
Right. They kind of want you to.
Yeah, it's sort of encouraged in some circles.
Yeah. It's fucked up. But yeah, when you're fucked up at a job, then it's like, what did I just get paid for today? To get fucked up. It feels pretty good.
Yeah, you know? It's like, what am I complaining about? I did 2 hours of work.
Every job I've always been high at.
Yeah, me too.
I think I mentioned that the one, I used to do heroin when I worked at this deli.
You do have that one.
That's very dangerous. You shouldn't do that.
What?
Like drink at your job, smoke weed at your job. Don't do heroin, especially at your deli job.
Yeah, when you have to work with
so lucky
sliced
to have my
meats.
thumbs, Yeah. You don't want to be falling asleep behind the wheel of a meat slicer.
Yeah. I mean, I bartended and there was like dude, I knew like I bartended with guys who were like professional drinkers.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like some of the guys I bartended with, like they would come in, like I would come in towards the end of like the day shift, and that dude would just start, like I'd be in there for the last 2 hours, and he would just start drinking.
Nice.
And he made like fancy drinks for himself and everything like that. That were like all the way alcohol and everything like that. It was crazy, but that I drank during that job. I used to start my day. If I was hungover, I would just come in and slam a vodka cranberry, because I'd usually sleep till like 1 o'clock and I have to be in at like 4. So I just go and I slam a vodka cranberry and that's how you start the night.
Fuck yeah,
I knew one bartender that would drink 2 Guinnesses, line the stomach.
Nice.
And I was like, it's that kind of night, huh? Jesus. Yeah. I won't name names because some of them are married or divorced or whatever.
I remember at one job, I worked for this company that made like windows, and we had this big job where we were fucking for this hospital, right? This new hospital that was going up, and we were fucking all doing coke, listening to Eric Clapton's Cocaine on the radio
on a loop
in the warehouse. Yeah, we were like, let's put together a cocaine playlist, and we built windows for a hospital on cocaine, and that felt good. Cocaine's
a hell of a drug.
A hell of a drug. Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's never been my favorite. It's too speedy for me. I like the downers.
I think Coke for me has been like, because I have ADHD, I think most of the time it just made me feel normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I've never done meth, but I assume if I did, it probably wouldn't affect me the same way it affects the people that I watch on The Wire.
Yeah.
I just assume that.
I think a lot of it is people work full time. It's exhausting. And they're tired, and they do.
A lot of restaurant guys do coke,
and they do coke, and now they're up, and I get it because I was like that as well. You know
what it also was for me too. It was like I would just hit this point where I'm like, I'm up and I have nothing to do. Mm-hmm. Like, why am I even up?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I couldn't jerk off because that didn't work. Like,
I think we talked about this.
You never
one time.
had that problem.
I never had that problem. I could always jerk off.
You're like coke. Cut from a different cloth than most men. Like,
and I would jerk off a lot because then I couldn't get to sleep. I couldn't get to sleep. So
listen, tell you, I jerked off a lot on coke.
Jerk off like 15 times in a row, and it's like I'm still not tired. The sun's coming up. It's time for breakfast. How many times I've gone into a deli to get an egg sandwich with a sore cock because I was jerking off all night. And bloody nose, sore
big
cock.
Big smile on my face.
Yeah. Yeah. No, cocaine wasn't always my favorite drug.
It was just always like in the Hamptons. It was always around, and every boat person, like we get these yacht people that would come off that would dock or whatever for like X amount of time.
Yeah.
Because you've seen where I live. There's that big downtown. Yeah. There's that big dock. It's called Long Wharf. Mm-hmm. And on Long Wharf, people have rented like yachts or whatever the fuck. That shit. What's the matter? Nothing. Okay, sorry.
Are we still on?
So no.
None of that was recorded. Sorry.
Yeah. So. But like people coming on docks and the. Oh shit! Clip that. People would come in. The boats would come in on the docks. God damn it! I'm gonna get through this thought. People would come in. They would be off all the boats, and rich people would rent these boats for like a month or whatever the fuck, and they'd go to like all around up and down the coast and everything. And they would always stop in Sag Harbor, and there's always like 15 or 20 fucking. Guys and girls that come off of it, they're all like European or Australian, and they all do cocaine. They all do coke.
Yeah.
Dude,
they're all Uncle Terry.
Yeah. He's laughing right now, like laying out in the sun, like like this, like Satan himself laughing.
He's got that devilish laugh.
He looks like a character that would end up in a fucking Rob Zombie movie. Like that's like, you know what I mean?
His face is so.
The next time I see him, he's gonna get real close to me and be like, "I look like a fucking character from a zombie movie, huh?"
His face is so red and full of craters. He looks like the planet Mars.
Already, this episode's this caveat to an episode's going great. You had prepared material that I see you looking down.
I did. Can I have an ashtray?
Oh yeah,
Can I
I'm
have an
sorry.
ashtray? Sorry. We were talking about jobs, and I don't know if I told this one.
Here's something I wanted to ask you actually.
Yeah.
I love that you come prepared. Do you? I love that because most people are like, "I'll wing it," and they probably shouldn't wing it.
Yeah, I like to have stuff prepared.
But like, when you're thinking of just like story stuff, is this like similar to how you write jokes or anything, or are you just coming up with like stuff that you know that you can talk about?
I have so much trouble writing, and this isn't even just with comedy. It was even back in the day, like English class. Like I was always better at making stuff up than talking about my actual life. I don't
That's
know,
weird then.
I
Like,
don't know what that's
you
about.
just get nervous because you want to be funny on the spot and everything. So like when
Yeah.
the mics go hot, you're like, "Oh, what do I say?"
You know, with this, I want when it's a lot of like get out some stories that I have that are crazy or whatever. But
Yeah.
when it comes to joke writing, I usually make things up.
You're the only guy I know that has like a stack of books.
Yeah,
I've seen them, and like
I went through them last night to try to get stories for this.
Billy Geyer has a stack of books of. This is how much this man writes. He's got
Yeah.
a stack and has written. Like he's got a stack of books that goes, I kid you not, it's like this high.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy
like
amount
from
of
the
notebooks.
ground up, and I'm like, God damn, like I do not write enough because I've filled up a couple books, but not
Yeah.
enough to call like. And then you have like an encyclopedia of like fucking I don't know, like some of the strangest. You
I've
know,
been keeping notebooks since I was like 14 years old.
just really,
yeah, or
You're,
maybe
big,
even
you're
younger.
a big writer too. You love
I
writing.
love writing. I love reading.
That's always the thing you amaze me when you're talking. I think you were talking about Kerouac or Bukowski.
I just read a lot of Bukowski because for Christmas I got all this poetry. I've been reading a lot of poetry and writing poetry
Yeah, but you're
too.
a fan of writing, so
Yes. And then his books, fucking Post Office is a big one. It's one of his
Yep,
famous
Post Office is one of his famous ones.
ones. Ham on Rye.
Yeah, Ham on Rye, yeah.
You know, but the poetry, I fell in love with it. It's something. It's
Great stuff.
It's really like different, and I never read poetry like that.
So it affected you in some way, and you decided to kind of,
Yeah.
that's cool. Because you were like, I remember you texting me one time, you're like, just reading Trotsky. I'm like, what the fuck? And explain what Trotsky is. So
we have to. This is actually, I've talked about this with Andy.
yeah,
I never read Trotsky.
okay.
We were talking about Bukowski.
Oh,
And
you
I
got
think-
the name wrong.
And I think you got the name wrong.
Oh, okay.
And I've just been letting you just say.
Oh, I thought.
that-
Well, I know you said Bukowski later on, but I think when you first
but
said
I
it,
never corrected you, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let him keep saying that and thinking that I read that.
because I like the fact that he thought that I read that.
Yeah.
Like you were like, no, it's making
but
you
it,
sound
but
smart.
it was Bukowski, Charles Bukowski.
Yeah, Trotsky. I was like, why are you reading? He's like a communist writer, I think, or something
I
like that.
think
Some sort of
so.
socialist writer.
Yeah, I've never read him. William S. Burroughs. I like
Burroughs.
a lot of those beatnik guys.
That era was really, like it was,
Kerouac, you know.
it was really huge with writing
Yeah.
and everything like that.
Wait, what was?
Yeah, a little more.
Sorry, I've been hogging it.
No, it's okay. We should
I'm a
put it
big
out
hog.
soon. We should put it out soon so the neighbors don't complain.
But yeah, all the
That's really cool that you got into that. You also are a Hunter S. Thompson fan too, right?
yes, definitely. You know, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
All those old
It's one of my
books.
favorite plays. I almost did that play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it started out as that, and I was with this group out in California.
Were you Nurse Ratchet?
I would have played Nurse Ratchet. It's a great part.
Hell
I
yeah.
would have fucking cut my dick off for that. I'm gonna get canceled. No, but I mean, like, even if not, I would have played it. I would have done drag. That's a great character. No, I wanted to be McMurphy. I don't think that was gonna happen. I probably would have ended up being Christopher Lloyd's character
Wow. Okay.
or Billy, guy who
Yeah.
kills himself.
Yes. Poor Billy.
But I love that. It was also like a great Nicholson movie, and I've seen every Nicholson movie like thousands of times.
Hell yeah. I love The Shining. I've
Oh,
seen
I have
that.
a Shining tattoo.
That's what I should have did. I got Shining papers from the.
Oh, the thing! Oh, you should have brought that. Save it for the Halloween episode.
The pattern of the rug. You know, when he's riding his bike.
Yeah.
And I think that's when he sees the twins, maybe, or with that part with the weird patterned rug.
Oh yeah, that's the famous rug.
Yeah.
It's like the hexagonal. It's like orange and red.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's rolling peppers with that. It's pretty fucking cool.
I love how you get all excited about your cool little smoking stuff.
do.
You get all like, I got this.
I'm such a pothead.
I am too, but this is why we do this.
Yeah.
It's podcast. I mean, right now, we're technically talking about nothing, but this is still better than more coherent than what we were doing last week.
I was at
We covered some stuff. You also went over all your stuff being in the hospital.
Yeah.
You went through all of that, which was like interesting, and then you told a story about shitting on the floor. So we covered a lot of stuff.
Classic me.
Well, you had also just started like doing shows at that point too, so you were like.
It was the first week back, so I was very tired.
But like I was saying before, it's kind of like you go to the gym when you don't want to.
Yeah.
And I thought you did some good stuff, and even though you were tired, I thought you performance-wise you were doing because you kind of got a little in those 3 days. I felt like you got a different, like a little dose of something different every night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I felt like every night I was getting a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah.
So by Sunday, I was like,
You were great.
I was on the money.
That weird Super Bowl show we did, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out whoever that was if you listen.
I felt back on Sunday.
Yeah. Even though I was exhausted on Sunday too.
Yeah, it was so exhausting.
You know. But it's like you went through all of that, and you're like you kind of got the rust off, and you kind of polished and everything because you were nervous. I know you said you were kind of nervous right before the.
I was a little nervous, but they were a great crowd, and it just went great. I have to have more confidence.
Yeah,
I lack the confidence.
dude, people revere you. Like, you know, it's like Billy Geyer. I don't want to follow him. I know, like, there's just like. You're one of the people that writes the most. Like I said, you have all the stacks and everything.
Yeah.
Like even when you were coming to the mics a little more consistently before you were in the hospital, you always had new jokes, and I was always like, "Fuck!" Like I would have like one or two like weird things written out on like a napkin, and you'd be like, "I have 30." Alex Bradley's like this.
Alex Bradley
Will come. He's like, "Oh, I've got 25 things tonight," and I'm like, "God damn it!" Like
me, because I write so much. A lot of it is actually old stuff that I never told.
Yeah.
I started going back to old notebooks.
Why not?
Because I'm free writing. I'm just jotting things down constantly. And I looked back on like all these old ones, and I went through them with Andy. And
Eddie Plajados.
Just like, oh, you think this is funny? You think that's funny? And I was putting together new jokes that way. I haven't actually
So you
written.
kind of cobbled like Frankenstein together a couple things.
Yeah.
Updated probably some
I
stuff.
actually haven't written a new joke in probably like 5 years.
Technically, yeah. We've just recycled.
It's been all old notebooks.
But nobody's seen what you've done so far. So
Yeah.
and you have new stuff. You've been adding to your shit. So
Yeah, it's been coming along. I didn't write at all being in the hospital.
told me that you didn't write in the hospital.
And
Said it just because you were just like don't want to be here.
yeah. And I didn't even have my notebook handy, which is always, but I just didn't feel it. So now I'm writing a lot, but it's all poetry and weird things that can't.
Publish a book.
Yeah, maybe.
Billy Geyer.
Tell the Billy Geyer story.
Yeah, that's the poetry version of you is Billy Geyer.
When we were talking about jobs before too, I had this story about when I was working at my last job. All my foremans, I had multiple foremans and different bosses, whatever. So I called everybody Boss Dad. Did I ever talk about this?
Boss Dad? Dag?
No. Dad.
Boss Dad.
Because I was very close with like my foremans and stuff. So I called Boss Dad, that's like cute little thing, right? So in my phone, I put like Boss Dad Colin, Boss Dad Ken, Boss Dad Greg, right? So I... My one boss dad was a hash dealer. So I was hitting him
Boss Dad / drug dad.
I was texting him one night like, hey man, can you bring in a 40 piece of hash for me tomorrow or something like that? And I texted the wrong boss dad. It was my fucking the big boss that I shouldn't have texted hash things to. So that was a big ordeal.
So you inadvertently ratted on your boss dad?
Yeah.
Who's also your hash dad?
And myself. Yeah. But he was cool. He knew we were all getting high.
But you didn't get fired.
I did not get fired.
That's rare because usually it doesn't go like that.
Yeah. And that same job too. I think It was such a laid back job. They pretty much knew I was doing coke in the bathroom at the Christmas party. I'm sorry if you didn't know, but it's out now.
The cat's out of the bag.
The cat's out of the bag, and I think it's suffocated. I was doing coke at the Christmas party. Oh, big surprise.
I feel like there's always somebody doing coke at the Christmas party.
Exactly.
There's always. Isn't that what Christmas parties are there for? There's
That's
always,
what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever not been to a Christmas party that wasn't like, "Where's Greg?" It's like, I know where Greg is. And fucking,
He's in the bathroom.
He's in
going
the bathroom. Skiing the old slopes, huh? Yeah, tripping the old dusty trails.
Partaking in a little bit of nose coffee.
A little bit of that cocan. Maybe I am too high. We need to re-record again.
I hope it's not cut with fentanyl. I hope it's not cut with fentanyl.
I hope it is.
Sometimes you hope it is when you're not doing it.
Just to feel something. No. Oh, man. But, yeah, so.
I want to practice my CPR.
Ew. As the dummy?
It was too late. I was talking about when we were talking about the fentanyl. Anyway.
Oh, well, all right. Back. Next joke.
All right.
What do you got?
So this one's a doozy. Well, early on, you're doing shows, right? When you first started, all your friends would come out. Did you ever have an instance when your friends got too rowdy at a show or any problems like that? Because I have.
I've had one where
And
not
it's
necessarily
so
he
bad.
was a problem. That's a good fucking topic, actually.
I thought so. That's why I wrote it down. Wrote it down.
No, that's actually a pretty good point. I've had friends where I'm like, where, I was like, why is he swaying? And it's like, well, he drank 5 Guinnesses. And I'm like, the show hasn't even started yet. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, they'll leave halfway through. It's like, so-and-so had to leave is why he's hammered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it. Like,
I've had this. This is
you had guys that got rowdy, though?
Yes, and even myself. So I'll start with me. The first one was, and this is what I learned, like, you can't get too fucked up before a show.
Yeah.
We started drinking and doing cocaine at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I wasn't even like a year in.
Where were you? Where were you performing at?
Greenwich Village. It was an Evan Weiss show. And I remember I paid to get a video taken too. And I went up there and I was wearing a moose hat. And the things came down on the side, the mittens.
Yeah.
I had beers in both the mittens. And I'm doing my act, and my act was so even crazier back then. And then I'm like forgetting like punchlines.
You just trailing off?
Yeah, and then I'm repeating jokes.
How much time were you doing?
I had to do like 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and it was a mess.
That's funny.
That's why I'm like, you cannot get. I was strict with myself. I'm like, you can't get too fucked up before the shows.
Yeah.
Especially on booze and coke. And then I had another story, but I forget what it was.
I remember you told me, wasn't there one that like from at Gotham too?
Yeah, it was at Gotham. Oh, so this was it. All right, so
Yeah, I got you. I knew I could.
all right,
trigger
yeah,
it. Yeah.
Back to the bringing people to the shows.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
That's when I was a problem. So I brought a couple of buddies to Gotham, and again, day drinking, and then leading into the night.
Day drinking should never lead into the night. Day drinking ends when the day ends. That's the misconception. That's why people are like, what happened? Like, he's been drinking since noon. You're supposed to go to bed at like 5 at that point.
Right,
That's
yeah.
what when you plan a day drink, that's what you're supposed to go to bed at like 5 or 6.
But when you do things like cocaine,
yeah,
and then
go
you
to
keep
bed
going,
at 3 a.m. and you've been drinking for 12 hours at that point already.
So my buddy got really rowdy during a Gotham show and was yelling things out, and it was
That's embarrassing.
It was a scene.
And like, did you feel like please don't do this? Like,
Yeah.
because I would have gone to my friend and I would just been so sincere and been like, don't do this. Like, whatever you think you're doing right now, just don't do it.
And then he never admitted to it. Like later on, he was like, "What? I was fine." Like, dude, you made like a scene at Gotham. Like you were drunk. Like
I'm trying to do something here, man.
the other one was with that same buddy, only he wasn't
The problem that time?
the problem. He ended up, well, I'll tell you, my one buddy was super drunk. His girlfriend just like broke up with him that day. So he comes to the show and he starts heckling the show producer while she's on stage. And he's like, "I make more money than all the comics. Like, he was just out of his bird. And she's like, yeah, that's great. Wow. Like, you know. And then
I have a big penis.
my other buddy yells out his name. Like, because she was asking his name. And so he yells out his name. And he got all butthurt. So then after...
You shouldn't have been yelling like a dick.
So then he punches my buddy in the dick. And he's now on the ground like, ah! Ah! And I'm like, motherfucker. These Springer shows are hard. They are, man. Your friends get too crazy.
Well, you never know. I mean, I think that's something that you start realizing is, especially because sometimes I think if people come to a few shows and they're like, maybe they've met like one or two of the comics.
Yeah.
And I think like they're like, maybe they feel like, it's cool if I say something.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, I know. Like I've met Jay. I've met fucking Dan. I've met Billy. You know what I mean? Like, and I've told some friends before, and I'm like, if you talk, I'll fucking kill you. Like if you're I will disown you like the mafia on that spot. Like,
sometimes it's cool. Like when you meet people like Chris. You know,
Chris,
or something
Chris
like
appreciates comedy, and Chris has Tourette's.
But
so the fact that he can be quiet, no, I'm serious. Like, and he's
true.
but he's always like a great, like a good audience member. Just even if we suck, just like shut the fuck up and let us suck. We know we suck.
I think that's the key, though. Is what you said is he respects it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think my friends really respected comedy the same way that I did. So they were like, yeah, I'll yell out or punch my friend in the dick. Or,
yeah, and it's so funny that he punched me in the dick, though. Oh! And you're just like, bringer shows are hard, man.
These are really hard.
All right. I'm going to stop bringing people. That's what I'm going to do. But I think, like, people, and I've said this before on the show, especially with, like, not necessarily the heckling, like that aspect of it, of like they thinking they're contributing to the show. Like you'd think.
I hate those.
That like, how does that math compute to you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where in the world does it make sense? It's like, no, if I it's a competition. Like I have to out-funny him. Mm-hmm. Like what is this? The Old West where you challenge a fucking gunslinger? Hey, I say punchlines at dawn, or whatever the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I hate those people, man. The people that yell out and they think I'm part of the show too.
Oh yeah, you're not. They think they're helping. That's another thing. Like you're not helping. I'm trying to do a fucking act.
You want to help laugh.
Yeah.
Even a fake laugh.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've gone into shows that I'm on.
Yeah.
And if it's like a shitty audience, I'm like, it's not going that great. I'll go in there and I'll bring some laughs to maybe
kind of like
to get it because it's contagious.
He's laughing, I'm laughing.
Yeah, it's contagious. It will, and I got a contagious laugh. It's funny.
You do have a very boisterous, contagious laugh.
So I go in there. Next thing I know, the audience is cracking up. It's because of me.
Because I stirred the pot.
Yeah, I stirred the pot. I was helping out my brothers up there, my brothers and sisters.
Some crowds suck though.
Yeah, they really do. Some of them you can't even help.
That's because when you do like
you should just like throw gasoline on them and light a match.
I was pulling at strings that one Friday show we did because I was like pulling like whatever, just like letting the punchline go long and holding my face, hoping like my eyes, or like using everything I had to like try to make these people laugh.
When I get to that point,
sometimes they would laugh loud and then they would like not laugh, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, make up your fucking mind. Either be quiet or make noise.
I get angry in those situations.
You didn't
sometimes.
Get angry that night.
I didn't. I tried to stay professional. But sometimes I would get angry, and then I'm like, now I'm going to go hardcore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell all my nasty cum jokes that I know you don't like.
And I'm going to say them anyway.
Yeah. I'm going to tell 9/11 jokes.
You should open. My dream is to see you open for Guar one day.
Open for Guar.
That's like right? Wouldn't that be like?
Yeah.
Like he made it. Like
that would be my demographic. Guar.
Dude, I think you would kill at the Guar concert.
I kind of would.
They'll come out and chop your dick off at the end. No, every night you get to watch Billy get his. So even if they hate you, they'll be like, "All right, time to get my dick chopped off." They'll definitely cheer at that.
No, that's good.
Guar, hire Billy Geyer to open for you.
I love your music.
Yeah, man.
Another thing that
go ahead. I love the Billy topics.
I got some topics here. So one of them.
We're doing great right now in time.
When I was
I still got an article we can talk about too.
All right, sweet. So when I was a young boy, this is a young boy story. I used to do like crazy pranks, right?
Yeah.
One of them was, and you have to set this up good, and I did it a couple of times at this one kid's house. His parents were never there, so we would all like meet up there during the day and smoke weed in like the living room or whatever, right?
In the living room?
Yeah.
One of those houses?
Yes, because the dad would work real late. And he wouldn't cut, so it'd be like early in the
Well,
day.
they just like spray Windex around and neutralize it.
Wouldn't even spray anything. Just be like, fuck it. They didn't even care. It was one of those houses. They were,
And
anyway.
those houses were crazy. I knew one or two people like that, and I'm like, they were. And you know what the thing is? It was never like an old shitty house. Usually, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. They usually because like the house was always nice, but the parents were never there.
Yeah, and there was always like weird missing furniture. Like there should be a couch in this room.
There's just
not.
like a room. Like you guys suddenly got this house out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like they got it in a police auction.
And we were always there, welcome to you could go there all through the day and smoke weed and
You
drink
just
or
go into
whatever.
this house and smoke.
Yeah. So there was one day when everybody was like leaving. We were going somewhere, right? So I was the last man out, right? I was in the kitchen. So what I did was, and I used to do this at a lot of people's houses, like I do it at sleepovers to be a dick. I would take eggs and put them in the microwave, and then I would put it on for like 10 minutes, and then I just left the house, right? So what it does is
Why would you do that?
It explodes. The eggs explode, and it explodes enough to blow the door off, like open. So then, like eggs will shoot out everywhere. So I used to do that, like before I would leave someone's house,
You fucking monster of a man.
or at a sleepover, and then the parents would be like, "What the hell happened?"
Ooh.
I don't know.
So I guess we didn't know how to.
I would never admit to it, of course.
No. Did anybody just like this like you like wake up like somebody like some like kind of like sentinel like Manchurian candidate like some code word just triggers you to be like time for chaos. Like
Yeah, I was a very anarchist young man.
you were in the punk rock and shit too, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, you talked about this before. How you just
Way
sleep
into punk rock.
face down because you had Liberty spikes.
Yeah, I had to
So this
sleep
was
a
you
special
like
way.
fuck the world like
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. Wearing my Nazi boots,
with
My
different color laces.
my Doc Martens with the different laces.
Yeah, exactly.
My plaid pants with straps on the back that I didn't know why.
I
but-
love how you're like, got an anarchy range, man. Put these eggs in the fucking. This will show the man. Like,
It was all eggs in microwaves and
I'm gonna
like
shit on the floor.
piss balloons.
Piss balloons.
You know?
Piss balloons is a high school thing. I remember we did piss balloons.
Yeah.
We had paintball guns too. That was
Or the old phony lemonade stand. Gets them every time.
God. Well, you know, the old phony lemonade stand. Jesus.
But I was a rotten kid. I was all around Holbrook at night stealing mailboxes and
You stole mailboxes,
all the time. And sometimes I'd make birdhouses out of them.
but so you're kind of circle of life. That's kind
Yeah.
of cool.
Yeah.
So you stole mail.
I would steal mailboxes or different like lawn ornaments and different things. Some people would catch me.
Yeah. Would you run faster than them at that time?
I was very fast. Not now. 'Cause my legs all full of blood clots. Can barely
but
walk.
Then
Back then, dude, I was a fast fat kid. I was really fast. I should have been on the track team. But
Instead, I used my powers for evil.
Instead, I was on the track marked. Never mind.
track mark team.
Yeah.
You should have just said that was good. That tracked. Ha ha.
So when I was a kid, I thought it was like cool, like kids that had inhalers. I was like, "What's that? That's awesome!" Like fucking, I want one. So I went to my mom. I'm like, "Mom, I think I have asthma." And she's like, "Oh, I gotta take him to the doctor." I never told this story, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm what?
So my mom takes me to the doctor.
Maybe no. I don't think so.
My mom takes me to the
a lot of
doctor,
weed.
and she's like, "Yeah, he has asthma." So they give me a puffer, and I'm like, "Awesome! I have my own puffer now, right?" So I got to use my puffer during gym class,
He
right?
goes, I'm sorry, he has Mrs. Geyer. He has asthma. Oh right. I get my own puffer.
Dude, I totally fooled them because I didn't have asthma.
You fooled them.
Yeah, because I was just putting on a wheeze. I don't know if I'm just a great actor.
Maybe
but
you actually had asthma.
I do no because. Well, let me finish this
All
story.
right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. So the first day I got the puffer in gym class, I'm like, all right, yeah. And I'm like playing around with it. I went up to some kid and I puffed him in the eye with it, right? And it's like medicine. So it's like burning his eye.
Yeah,
now. He's like wigging out.
Hey, isn't that what they did to the monster in the movie It?
Is that what
Yeah,
they
it's just
did?
battery acid, you slime. And his face melted in that version.
Well, this kid's face didn't melt.
Why did you do that? That's so funny.
I wish it did because then he couldn't identify
Well, you're just
me.
like, you're like, hey, Wendell,
Pretty much, yeah. And so he's like, ah!
you monster.
So I'm like, oh, I puffed him in the eye. So I got in trouble, right? And I didn't really even have asthma. I didn't. I fooled the doctors. It's very easy to get one of the. They were just maybe because it was the '90s. They were just giving away puffers.
A lot of people I knew had asthma, like as a young kid.
Yeah,
100%.
I was just a fat kid, and I never used it again because they took away my. I couldn't use the puffer without like supervision.
Because
because I puffed the kid in the eye. So they were like, you got to come down to the nurse every time you want to use your puffer. And I never went down to the nurse again because it was like, I can't puff her in the eye.
Jeez, that sounds. What if you had a fucking asthma attack? They're like, oh, Billy, you're like on the ground convulsing. You're like, you got to go downstairs, Billy.
It's because I really didn't have.
I know you really didn't have asthma.
Yeah.
Which is, you're just a con man. I just love. How the fuck why did you want one of the asthma things?
Because I thought they were cool.
You just were like, oh man, that looks neat.
Yeah.
And then the first thing you do is you pop a kid in the eyes with it.
Yeah.
You fucking terrorist.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was a childhood terrorist. Going in that same vein,
I love it. Billy's topics.
I used to go to the mall with my friends and we'd fake heart attacks. I would like go to the food court and I would just like get up and be like, ah! Start shaking on the ground and the key to that is like you got to make eye contact with one person and you could look like into their soul like ah!
Help me.
Yeah.
You got to look at one person.
And then when security would come, we would all just like run, call them fags, you know. Because we were teenagers.
You're supposed to be like fucking monsters when you're teenagers.
And when I was so in middle school, I got suspended for the entire year as well because
I love how you're just like you're going through all of like your report card stuff.
Pretty much.
It's like your permanent records just being read to us.
What else could I talk about? I don't know.
No, I'm loving it. Keep going.
So I got suspended for the entire year because there was this was a little bit after Columbine, and there was a threat on our middle school.
Oh, okay. Did you call it in?
No.
Pussy.
Somebody had somebody had made a threat.
Okay.
And they sent a letter home to everybody saying
Okay.
that tomorrow there's a threat on the school, that there's going to be a shooting, and there's going to be heightened security and cops here and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So what I did was I went home and I rewrote the letter. And this was on AIM back in the day, so I sent it out in a mass like AIM message.
What did you make it say?
I made it say that like everybody that came to school had to eat out the principal. And all this like crude shit, right?
You could have used that to be like, hey, we don't have to go to school tomorrow.
Yeah.
Instead, you were like, you got to eat out the principal's butthole.
Nothing about shootings or anything. I made it like more silly.
Yeah, comes funny.
But very crude. I said, everybody had to do weird sex shit and different things, right?
And they all thought it was from the school?
No, I sent it out on AIM as like
you said
as a goof.
as a goof, okay.
But they took it so serious that these fucking undercover cops came to my house that night and confiscated my computer.
Why? Oh, God, was there anything weird on it?
There was porn.
Yeah, like lots and lots of
But
porn.
when you're a teenager, like that young, like
They probably expect that.
I was freaking out.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, they're gonna find the porn. Like, 'cause I was so secretive of it back then.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I watch porn.
What are you going to do? Like,
Yeah. But I was a kid. I was scared.
They took your fucking hard drive.
Yeah, and I was suspended for the entire year.
But you didn't really do anything wrong.
No, I didn't.
Like, I'm looking at it, they just got mad because you said cum a lot, probably.
Yeah. And then I had to go in front of the superintendent and have this big hearing, and they had to read the letter out.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like looking at my poor principal.
Why would they
like,
do that? How do you have a video of this? Does somebody have a
No,
video?
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God. Dude, I would pay top dollar to see the video of you. What, like 16 probably?
15.
15-year-old Billy fucking Geyer with
Maybe
spiked
14.
hair.
14 maybe.
Dressed like a punk, being like, and then you have to eat out Principal Ambrose's butthole and get 2 fingers in there and gape it out real fucking
That's
good.
exactly how it was.
Come in it with all your dicks. Come so much in it. Like, I would have paid good fucking money to see that tape. If you had said, like, it's in a collector's edition thing, I'm like,
I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, I was scared.
that's so stupid. It's hilarious that they made you do that.
Yeah.
That's great. When they're like, this will teach him. He's gonna read the cum stuff. The whole room was probably like laughing under their breath the whole time.
No.
Really?
No.
I would have been laughing.
the superintendent at the time was this old, decrepit fucking lady, and she was having no part of it.
We don't like when people talk about penises.
We don't like cum jokes.
We don't like. I'm offended by semen.
Yeah.
We didn't have semen when I was first born. We just turned our heads and closed our eyes and sang a little song like our husbands told us to.
Yeah, man. And then she's like, "You're suspended for the rest of the year." Womp, womp.
But you didn't do anything wrong.
I know.
Unless you're leaving something out, but you just took a letter and made a Weird Al Yankovic parody of it.
Yeah, I guess.
And they were like, "This guy is fucking too funny. We can't."
I guess because maybe it was a couple of years after Columbine.
But you didn't.
Everybody was taking it very serious.
I guess because I guess they saw it as but again, like, what rule did you break?
Yeah, I know.
You just used what, Adobe Photoshop, and had fun?
Yeah,
That's weird.
just a goofy text on Messenger on AIM.
InstaMessage.
Yeah, the good old days.
It always comes up. I was just talking about this. I just had a guest on, and like I swear to God, it's the anybody around our age range. Like we talk of AIM so fondly.
Yeah.
It was so fucking stupid though.
Yeah, it was.
You know,
I liked the chat rooms because then you could bait people.
Oh, you talked about this before.
Yeah.
How you would be like, "I'm a 14-year-old girl."
Yeah. And then when they start spanking it, be like, "Oh, you're gay.
You're gay. Here's a picture of my dick. Ha ha ha. I'm also 15.
We're
And they're
teenage
like, well, I like
boys.
that too. And you're like, ew, God, what?
But sometimes I would meet people. I think they were real, but I was probably getting catfished. You'd meet these people in different chat rooms. You never do this?
What, like meet like a girl?
Or anybody. Just somebody that wanted to chat or something, you know?
No, I never really did the chat room thing. I like go to like a message board. I did message board shit. I did that.
Okay.
But like never like to find like pussy.
It wasn't to find pussy. It was just to talk to.
No,
just
I mean like it was
being
like
a
you
lonely
talk, but like,
teenager on the internet, you know?
hey, what are you wearing? Well, I'm wearing Michael Jordan shorts.
Did you
and,
listen to the new Used album?
the used?
Yeah, shit like that.
God, that just.
I'd totally
That's a
fuck
tr-
Avril Lavigne.
We all wanted to fuck Avril Lavigne. We all were like weirdly like that's her, and then
I'm
that,
a skater boy.
yeah, and then everybody. That's why I tried to skate because I'm like I'm gonna land me an Avril Lavigne girl. That never fucking happened.
Yeah, she works at Hot Topic.
God,
And she's got a chain wallet.
dude, I had a chain wallet.
So did I.
I had a chain wallet. People made fun of me for it. I understand. It's a chain wallet.
I might bring back the chain wallet.
You gonna bring back the chain wallet?
I'll try.
I think you look good with. I like your lawn gnome cosplay.
Maybe I need
I
to
got
do a
this
look.
article I want to share with you before.
Share some
that
articles,
was a fun
please.
little banter that we just had, but I have this article.
Yeah, we got
I
some.
figured
some good
that
stuff
you would
for
have a
this
lot
one.
to say about this. So, the title of this article, is called "Cook County Woman Charged with Stealing $1.5 million in Chicken Wings from a School District."
Wow.
$1.5 million in chicken wings. This is in Chicago. Bond was set at $150,000 Thursday for a Dalton woman accused of stealing over $1.5 million of food. All right, so this is more than just chicken wings, but it's primarily chicken wings. While working as a consultant for a school district in South Suburban Cook County, according to court documents.
And what was she doing with the food?
Let's see here. Her name is Vera Liddell. She's 66 years old. She was working as a director of food services for Harvey. Did you ever get chicken wings in high school?
Not chicken, like with the bone? No.
This is like
Chicken
bone-in
nuggets.
wings. No, I never got chicken nuggets.
Or chicken strips.
You went, no, I never
Something
had.
like that, but never.
Did you have the square pizza?
Square pizza?
It's like a pizza.
In a square.
It's in a square.
Yeah, I think we had
We
some
had
square
pizza day. That was what we had. We never really had, because we used to be able to go out for lunch.
Oh, nice.
So we could like go off, like they said, off campus.
We had some square pizza, but we also had the
Real pizza.
triangle Euler
So this is
pizza. Every Friday was you can get pizza and grilled cheese. So I would get double lunch. I get both.
You'd wrap the fucking pizza in the grilled cheese and eat it like a burrito, like you fucking filthy animal that you are.
You know it.
You know it. This is the perfect amount of high for a podcast. All right, so between July 2020 and February 2022, prosecutors said Liddell placed hundreds of unauthorized orders of food. Oh, so she was cooking the books. So she was like tripling up. She was unauthorized orders for food items is what she would do, including 11,000 cases of chicken wings. What do you need 11,000 cases of chicken wings for?
Tommy like winging.
I mean, are you jealous? Like
A little bit. I love wings so much.
I know you're a big wing guy.
And I haven't really had any since being out of the hospital.
Salute.
Trying to eat clean. The first wing I had was at the Super Bowl party.
Oh, those are good wings.
Those are great wings.
Well, Super Bowl wings have a special
Yeah.
feeling and taste to them.
Yeah, it's like Christmas.
So
smell.
she would basically. So what this lady was doing is she was essentially cooking the books. Gordon, like, what is she using all these chicken wings for? Like, where's all this food going? Like, where do you store? This is like one whole refrigerator, cases, right?
Maybe she was getting ready for a really wicked Super Bowl party.
Yeah, I guess. The massive food fraud began at the height of COVID during a time when students were not allowed to be physically present in school.
Wow.
Even though so she was ordering during like the off season.
She probably had somebody that was buying them because wings have gone up in price.
That's what I'm trying to figure out right here.
And
Wings have gone up in price, you're saying?
yes.
Okay, that's interesting. The food tax.
And so she was getting them cheaper, obviously.
Maybe, I
stealing
guess.
them from the school, right?
Maybe selling them secondhand to somebody
Yeah.
else. Doing
Yeah.
a Tia's flea market of food, if you will.
The Red Zone Bar and Grill. Something like that.
Even though the school district continued to provide meals for students that the families could pick up. All right, so they were actually still making food. So she was ordering like doubling up on everything. Liddell would then allegedly use, what is she doing with all this food? His food was never brought to the school or provided to the students, they said. The routine mid-year audit conducted, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so she was basically... Liddell was charged with felony theft and continuing financial crimes. She was like enterprising on wings. She was brought up on financial crime enterprises. She's currently, God, wow, she was trying to corner the market on wings. You imagine? This is why the price of wings got driven up.
Yeah, because of her.
Yeah, wow. How did you? I don't know. I never had wings in high school. That's crazy to me.
Me neither.
$1.5 million, 11,000 cases of wings. How did they not find it? It was the lady that was ordering like 10 refrigerators. It's like, I need 10 refrigerators, please. Like Macy's like, okay, sure. Some cop comes in, is like, anything strange happened here? It's like, recently? It's like, now that you mention it. 10 fucking fridges were ordered.
All these wings.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's a crazy story, man. Yeah, and even crazier that, never got wings in high school.
Yeah, I'm trying to think anybody that, like, things have changed. It was like 3 different things. It was always like, you'd have like a day, right? It'd be like pizza day.
Yeah.
There'd be like fucking, like there would be taco day.
Tacos, of course.
Or whatever the fuck. There would be some mix of like grilled cheese or whatever the hell.
Yeah, I remember you can get like a pretzel every day if you wanted to get like a pretzel. You can get a pretzel.
There was pretzels. I remember there were pretzels.
Pretzel
when
and
I was a kid.
cheese,
Yeah.
or if you wanted to get a hamburger or cheeseburger, you
Didn't
had
have
the
that.
option of
I don't know
getting
if we
that
had
every
that.
day.
I don't know, like because also the lunchroom changed significantly because it was we brown bagged it for a long time, and then like when I like left, I know when I left high school, like that fucking like the lunchroom like changed into like a real lunchroom because it was like kind of just an open space where guys and women and girls, women and men sat at different tables.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I lucked out too because the generations.
But they would
after-
have like days. They would have like pizza, and you could get pizza, but it wasn't every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like a Thursday was pizza day, and then another day they would do like tacos or some shit.
We lucked out because later on, I mean, Michelle Obama came in and tried to make everything healthy.
I think that's kind of what happened.
Do away with those soda machines and no more Ribicue.
Were you like Belushi at an Animal House when they're taking away all the booze?
Yeah.
They're just wheeling out all the sugar, and you're like, cocksucker, jerk off!
Where's the roast beef melt?
They toss the soda fountains! All the fucking soda fountains!
I was lucky. That was after my time in high school.
Yeah,
so I lucked out.
Yeah, they had like one. There was like one Fruitopia machine that stood there. I remember like passing it. Like I visited the school when I was like 22, and I'm like, that fucking Fruitopia machine was like there when I was like 10, like visiting. Like I can't believe it's still fucking here. So, but all right, man. I think we filled some void here. This is definitely fun.
Very good. Yeah. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, I know. I went to you. The little postscript to this is why I went to you, and I was like, I think we got way too high doing this episode.
We did, and that happens.
And so, by the way, we're going to release it. The first part, like you said, the first part of this episode is going to be all about us too stoned to speak. But we're going to cut it together a little bit, make it look nice. But we have the second part, so it's a little more coherent for you. Because Billy did say some funny shit in that first part. So
I had some moments.
So we're going to cut it together. We're going to give you this. So it should be about like an hour and a half, 2 hour episode. Okay? Because it's Billy Geyer. He goes all the way. And by the way, if you see this handsome mug on a poster anywhere, at a comedy show, whether it be for any of the McGuire's or Governor's Comedy Clubs, you should definitely go see him. He's hilarious. He's a great comedian. He's very funny. You have anything coming up you want to plug? It's coming out next week.
I don't have anything to plug right now.
Okay.
But I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, man.
And I love you.
Oh, give him your Instagram real quick, because I'm getting...
Billy Geyer XOXO on Instagram. And
Snapchat. Give him your Snapchat, too.
Billy Geyer, just Billy Geyer, Geyer.
Follow him. He's always posting
Billy
funny...
Geyer on Facebook.
Yeah.
William Geyer when I'm trying to be a little bit more professional.
That's him on LinkedIn. So if you're looking to find Billy, he's always posting shows and everything like that. Go find him on any of those Instagrams or anything like that.
Thank you, Joseph.
Try to put your thing right below him. I love you, dude.
I love you,
I'm glad you're out of
man.
the hospital doing well. You're back doing it, okay?
It feels great to be back. Back here on Millennial Boner with my friend Joseph.
Good night, everybody.
You give me a millennial boner.
Cut.
The Millennial Stoner outro song. You pack a bowl and sing along. Blah, la, blah, la, blah, la, 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 la. Ba, ba, blue sheep, ba, 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 ba. This is the favorite podcast of the Dalai Lama.